wait to see we could get some people in here a bit. All right. Well, it's probably new to everybody because it's gonna be pretty much my very first stream. This stream is not gonna be too incredibly long. This is mostly a test stream for what I want to do later into this month, if not next month. I did remember that I did say that what is it that I wanted to do a stream within the next few months. Well, that is going to happen. I think it will most likely happen next month, but I am not entirely sure if that is going to happen. I'm not entirely sure when that's what's going to happen. It may happen this month, but I just have to look for like a guest, and if it's not a guest, I have to look for to be able to join up and kind of get a platform going. So this is just going to be some test streams here and there. I'll have a little bit of test streams going on through, I want to say, about a course of this, probably the rest of this month. Just doing test streams, maybe. I think some of the test streams will be some of recap. So most of the streams would happen maybe like on today or maybe the next, where I'll cover news of the previous day, and then I'll cover news that will be happening maybe today. That's mostly what I think the streams will be. I don't have like a set day or time. I think when the streams are going to be up. I think the streams will be kind of like random right now. Kind of want to set this up kind of the way they want to be. What I do kind of plan on what I want to do with the streams, or have them later on scheduled. I'm probably going to have them on a most likely a Tuesday, and then I'll have it on a Thursday. Friday, normally people won't want to join the stream or want to go or be on streams or what have you. Maybe I'll have special events on Fridays, so I gather more people to see. But I think Tuesday and Thursday will probably be the best days. I might do Monday, but Monday is a drag for a lot of people, I think. And then on top of that, usually a lot of news pops in on Monday. So I try to. So I don't know if I want to do a stream there because a lot of news going on, and I want to be able to get all the videos out. But yeah, that's pretty much the case. I'm kind of just waiting for people to just come on here. I don't know if this will go to Rumble either, by the way. It very well may go into Rumble. It may not. I am not entirely sure. That is not what I want to do. Hey, I got one viewer already. That's pretty cool. Alright. Kind of just waiting a little bit. I'll probably wait for a few people to fill in. If anybody wants to leave stuff in the chat, please do so. Usually going to wait around maybe 10-15 minutes where I'm ready 3 minutes in, because it takes a little bit of time for people to notice the stream coming on so they can just pop in, and I don't want to really do the news. I figured this would be easier considering I'm a bit late, and if I were to do all of the videos at once for the stream, or not for the stream, but for individually, I would probably want to get them out very long. Like normally what happens when I do my video stuff is that I have to record a video which takes between, on average, 7 through 12 minutes to do the video, and then after that it's like 30 or 40 minutes doing the thumbnail maybe, and then you have maybe something like along the lines of not just that, but then you also have the not just the email, but the not just the thumbnail, but then you also have to, like, maybe the video editing too, and that takes a little bit of time. So it's a bit easier to do the stream to get everything blocked up or clumped up. I don't even think I even have any freaking. Yeah, I don't think I have any. What you would say? Rules. I don't think I have rules. I think anybody can just say what the hell they want. I honestly don't care. That's not like a big deal to me at all. Yes. I understand that there is a guard for this stuff. Guess what we'll do first, though? Is we'll pop in right into this. Kind of see where we're going at with all this. So yeah, so these very first streams, mostly for the people that will probably be viewing the stream, the very first streams will have usually a guest. I could do solo streams, and I may devise doing a solo stream at some point as well, but which I think will be more news oriented. But normally it's easier for me to kind of like I think the streams are usually better, and it will also easier for me if I do if I have talk to somebody else, kind of like bouncing off of all their opinions and stuff like that. It makes more of a interesting stream rather than seeing one person rant constantly. Even though you guys see me in my videos rant a lot. Yeah, I just realized that's what that does. I'm gonna see if I'm testing all of the streaming stuff. See what's going on there. If anybody has any ideas or criticisms or what have you of this stream, I guess, well, maybe the test stream is one of them, but the test stream and what you think I can improve it, just let me know. I'm more for open to criticism. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do something like this. 3 more minutes. I'll probably start talking a bit. I'm trying to wait to get everybody filled in here. But yeah, it seems that a lot of crazy stuff happened while I was away for essentially 4 days. I was not here Thursday, and I was not here Friday. And of course, I don't do weekends. So normally, if I'm not here on the weekends, I will be here on mostly Monday through Friday. Now, starting today, I may believe. Yeah. Today, this is going to be just like a rare occurrence. I don't think I'm going to constantly be doing this all the time right now. But I do want to start streaming, kind of get that into the atmosphere and see what's going on here. Now, I will say that some of my streams will start. Some of my streams will start on a Tuesday, but there will be some days, depending on when I'm doing the stream, right? Usually it's at a time around 2 o'clock is when I'll be aiming for it. That I won't be able to do it, or I'll be a little bit late, because depending on what my schedule is for that day, what I have to do for people around the household. So that really depends. Same thing for Thursday. If I do stream on Thursday, it really depends on what happens here, in terms of when and time schedule stuff like that. That's the reason why I kind of said it at 2. Normally the time all that stuff is gone and done with, so I don't have to worry too much about it. So we're pretty close to about a minute off, but that's okay. I think we'll do this right here. So apparently we have Trump being apparently arrested. That's interesting. I heard that over the weekend, and I nearly jumped off my seat. Oh, hello. User has been banned from naughty words. I've been seeing you around in my chat. Nice to see you here. Yeah, this is a surprise stream. I wasn't really planning on doing one, but I'm like, you know what? Considering making and editing my videos is going to take a lot longer for all my stuff to really pop out and get out, because I have to do the editing, all that, I figured it'd be easier just to do the stream and get around the same time of stuff, because I got more frame time today. But yeah, it seems like Trump is going to be arrested, so that's impressive. Trump says he will be arrested on Tuesday, calls for protests, and urges people to take our nation back. Now, we all know what probably the media is going to do here. Normally when I see the media goes out and takes these words, is that they'll normally say incite violence. And I guess you could take that as inciting violence. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't really say that would be like inciting violence necessarily, because obviously a protest is normally what happens. Unlike Antifa, which we've seen here time and time again, where they're not really doing protests, they're normally doing, well, riots and hurting people and stuff like that. So it says the post received mixed feedback for commentators on the right, as many noted he did not pardon the January 6th protesters before he left office. In his post, which was written in all capital letters, Trump wrote, "Now illegal, peaks from his corrupt and highly political Manhattan district attorney's office, which has allowed New York records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros, indicate that with no crime being able to be proven and based on an old and fully debunked by numerous other prosecutors, fairy tale far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of the next week. Protests take our nation back." Yeah, the normal buzzwords. Yeah, it's almost infuriating, right? When you just have the media just completely outright lie, and just try to confuse people, which is hilarious. Later into the stream, we'll probably end up finding out that, like, obviously, I think there's a lot more people that think like us, or similarly different, obviously different political viewpoints, but that majority of America just doesn't normally think like this. They don't view politics. They don't do stuff like that. And then sometimes, obviously, you have people that are like in San Francisco or Portland. Then what you get is people voting for very bad policies, and, well, yeah, it is the most annoying and obnoxious thing ever. So it goes on to say here, "They're killing our nation as we sit back and watch. We must save America. Protest, protest, protest," Trump wrote in a follow-up message. Now, apparently he's supposed to be arrested on Tuesday. I don't think they said what time necessarily. And I think the GOP is also fighting back as well a little bit against this. Trump also goes on to say, "It's time we are in a nation in steep decline," which he's not necessarily wrong here, "being led into a World War III by a crooked politician who doesn't even know he's alive." Again, not necessarily wrong, but who is surrounded by evil and sinister people who, based on their actions on defunding the police, destroying our military, open borders, no voter ID, inflation, raising taxes, and much more. They'll only hate our now failing USA. We just can't allow this anymore. They're killing our nation as we sit back and watch. We must save America. Protest, protest, protest. You know what? And I agree with like a good chunk of that, because our military has become woke, and I don't know, user, if you've been around since when I did the post on, or the report rather, on our military situation, to where we're running out of ammunition or low on ammunition because we're sending it all to Ukraine, and then we're also our military people are not reaching, the right amount of grip strength. So our military is weaker and becoming a bigger problem by these woke attorney generals, and what have you, or generals in general, with their issues, and our people are becoming weak. And another thing as well, where keep on pushing down the actual requirement for our, what is it, for requirements for us to be, physically fit for the military. They keep pushing that down to accommodate the women, and that's kind of the problem that I see here, where if we're constantly pushing down our military standards to accommodate the women, then it makes our nation and our country weaker, because we're not having the highest standards possible that is humanly possible to combat another oncoming threat. And due to that, I think that does not really help our military. And even still, we've seen to where if when women do half of the military training as the men, they actually end up having severe muscle atrophy, or they even start essentially becoming infertile. They can't have kids, and we want to keep on pushing this onto women and stuff. And it's just we're seeing that, yeah, women have the ability to go into the field, but on the ground, but they're having very negative side effects, and I don't think that's being talked nearly enough. Where I think a lot of people will also come out and say, well, we need to have women. You can't just not allow women in the military. I'm like, correct, but should be able to. Things should be laid out to them that they'll be able to. That the negatives they could suffer severe muscle atrophy, and that they'll probably become infertile. That needs to be laid out in front of them for the women so they know what they're getting into. But right now, I don't think they're even telling that to women. I think they're just being led astray that actual severe bodily harm will come to them. Yeah, they could stuff Millie's medals in a foot carrier. Yeah, I mean they're doing everything. They're doing everything negative possible, man. It's insane, and that's part of the reason why I'm not really fond of our military. I think we do need to get our military back in order. I also do think that we are somewhat close to World War III because we're not trying to make peace negotiations with Ukraine. And just recently, Xi Jinping, I think that's the dictator in China, met with Vladimir Putin, I think, for the second time. And that's concerning. So if you have these two, I guess you could say, tyrants, like Xi Jinping being more of a dictator than Vladimir Putin, we have that's not really good. That's signs for something bad happening. And even in the report that I did, I want to say previously, the report that I did that one of the generals said that, oh, we might be into our own go to war with China in 2025. Little did they didn't say that we would be in World War III, just say that we'd be in war with China by 2025, which that's not good because if China signed this deal with Russia or had some type of meetup with Russia, then well that probably indicates that World War III will be in 2025, or it could be sooner. Don't know. But I'll get on to this. If Trump is charged, he will be the first former president in U.S. history to ever be arrested after leaving office. He also is the current leading contender for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024. There has been no notification other than illegal leaks from the Justice Department and the DA's office to NBC and other fake news carriers that the George Soros-funded political left Democratic prosecutor in Manhattan has decided to take his witch hunt to the next level. President Trump is rightfully highlighting his innocence in the weaponization of our injustice system, a Trump spokesman told the New York Post on Saturday. Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has called for a congressional investigation into politically motivated prosecution. Here we go again, an outrageous abuse of power by a radical DA who lets violent criminals walk as he pursues political vengeance against President Trump. I'm directing relevant committees to investigate if federal funds are being used to subvert our democracy by, well, he says here. So I would agree. I think this is more of a political stunt. And I don't think anything with that has to come with the law or whatever should never be political. It should always be based off the law and the crimes that they commit. But of course, I think New York City is becoming a third world state. I don't say third world country because technically they're not really a country; they're just a state, and they look like their cities are just being run down. There's violent crime happening everywhere. Justice is just not going well for them. If you try to defend yourself like the bodega worker who tried to defend himself, he almost got put in jail for defending himself after literally getting attacked, shown on video. It's just the innocents are being punished and the criminals are not. And that's what's happening in New York City. And the fact that Trump is being targeted politically is a bigger problem here more than anything. And I think that the way I'm seeing this is that this could end up good or bad. I think there's going to be more bad happening here rather than there is a positive in all of this. So, yeah. That's what we have here. We also have this one here. This is a bit more of a funny or, I guess, sad statement. Now, I do Men's World, and I don't do it nearly enough, unfortunately. I wish I did, because, it kind of points a bigger view of showing what's happening to men in society today. Now, obviously, we know that some women are more privileged than others or have issues of their own right. We understand that, but the laws in particular are not really beneficial to men in today's society. And granted, the one that's probably I think the most egregious right now. Well, no, in the UK, I think it was either the EU or the UK that did something like this. The EU, one of the two, made it to where you can't catcall anybody, which was in the EU, and they're making that to where if you do so, you can be put in jail for X period of time. Scotland, as we went over, did the similar same thing, except it's a lot worse. It's like if they feel uncomfortable or you do the same thing on catcall, is where you be landed in jail for 7 years. So I mean that's just not good. And this one is a pretty big one. Where this one absolutely disgusted me. Man puts gym influencer on blast. I think this was from Joe Swoll, which he's exposing a lot of these female gym influencers or what have you, or just gym people in general, where they're doing it. And I find it kind of hilarious in this aspect, right? Where we have men that actively go into the gym, or we go into Twitch, right? Yeah, we would go into Twitch, and we create this own space to where it's just gaming and stuff like that. Well, women come in, and they have to sexualize it. They have to make everything sexual or what have you, and that created the hot tub stream and all this other BS that's happening onto Twitch now, which is just amazing. Twitch even made its own category, for God's sake. And now we have, which I think women already went to the gym in general, for the most part, because it was an open space. But now we're seeing where gym influencers or women in general, mostly 90% women, are going into the gyms and trying to humiliate or ridicule men at everything possible. And that's just not okay. I just can't agree with that at all. Where they're obviously doing it nefariously. They're not doing it anything positive at all. It's all nefarious. And this is the problem. A gym shouldn't allow people to live stream while working out for others' privacy. Exactly, I 100% agree. I think that gyms should probably just maybe ban cell phones altogether, and maybe just have something that you can listen to in your ear or whatever. Because at this point, it's not really women that are in trouble, right? They're not gonna get in trouble. They're not being harmed by this. It's just men, because women are actively doing this. And this is just due to that fact that women know that they can't, that mostly people are going to believe them over the man. And that's just where society is right now, where if a woman is getting attacked or whatever, or God forbid, says something, they're going to believe the woman over the man, and the man gets in trouble. So that's kind of like where we're at, and I agree that they're just shouldn't allow people to live stream at all, and it kind of sucks because there's a lot of really good gym influencers that help with bodybuilding and stuff like that. That really helps people and train themselves to do it. Because even I like to look up gym YouTubers and stuff like that, and how I can build muscle. And I'm trying to work that on myself. I'm not doing a very good job, honestly. I'm always quitting here and there, but I try. I really do try to do it consistently. And that would also hurt some of the gym people that are doing it. But it is what it is, man. We could also do, for something that we could also fix it as well. We could make it to where agree to maybe live streaming or what have you, for this is mostly for like the gym people that don't do this BS. But to where if you do this or what have you, you will be immediately banned from the gym. There will be like essentially no consequence. There will be pretty much harsh rules. You do it once, you're immediately banned, just to help like the gym people. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. They need to actually give a commission. So yeah, it's rough. It's definitely rough. It sucks. I feel bad for these people, let's go directly into this. A personal trainer has been praised for using his platform to call out self-entitled gym influencer behavior. Every so often, a viral gym talk clip would make the rounds of the platform, and sometimes it's ugly. Some clips show TikTokers mock an unexpected gym goer for their form. Others show gym influencers get frustrated because a person unintentionally ruins their video. In another instance, a TikToker accuses a man of staring at her when he simply glanced in her direction for a millisecond. While this isn't to say harassment in gyms doesn't exist, false accusations like this can take away from real life issues. Yeah, I think we have seen it to where the whole Me Too movement has, I think, severely hurt women in a great way, because from what I'm seeing now, and it's being more consistent to where if a woman is raped or what have you, they bring up all kinds of questions. They don't believe them almost 60 or 70% of the time, and I think that's increasing as the months go by, and eventually it's just nobody's just going to believe a woman, and that's just going to be the reality of things, to where they're like, oh, you were raped? Oh, well, I don't really believe you, because they did this Me Too movement to where they can't, where you said recently they just faced no consequences, and since they faced no consequences, they just go out and do this and what have you, and it's really bad. TikTok user Joey Swole has earned 1.6 million followers, declaring himself the CEO of Gym Positivity. His page is filled with helpful advice for gym goers, including meal inspiration, workout routines, and motivational talks. And that's what I'm talking about with people like Joey Swole that actively help people try to better lives in the gym and what have you. And this happens. It's just women ruin everything, man. They have to ruin things that are usually good for people. But now his attention has turned to a call of disrespectful behavior and schooling people on basic respect and gym etiquette. Subsequently, most of the original clips he has put on blast have been deleted by the original creators. In one clip that racked 18.5 million views, a gym influencer posted a clip of herself working out before a fellow gym goer walks over to her space to collect a weight to take back to her area. The TikToker overlaid the clip with audio that called the woman a clunt. We'll just say clunt. Here we go. And gave her a dirty wart look. Joey slammed the video and said it absolutely disgusted him. First off, having a lot of followers on social media doesn't give you priority over other people in the gym. It's a public space. It's shared space, he said. You should do the opposite. Be a leader, be humble. If you're going to film in a public gym, that's fine, but you should be respectful of other people. Yeah, and unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be happening. I would say that there are some men that also do this as well. I don't know the vast amount of men that are doing this, but I do know that a lot of women are doing this in a nefarious way, and it's just not being good. So yeah, this is not really going all that great. I think they even removed the video of it, ironically. Oh my, well that's unfortunate. Well, the video was here when I looked at this. Now the video is not. Well then. Thousands of people flocked to Joey's clip to applaud him for his candid and open, honest approach to making the gym a better space. One said, the look she gave that poor lady to, you shouldn't have to go to the gym and worry about looking for cameras so you don't ruin someone's video. To which very Joey replied, imagine how the lady would feel seeing this video. She looks great, obviously loves the gym, and she did that to her. Disgusting. Another quiz whether the Felicia clips were actually real, adding they're too embarrassing to be real. A third highlighted that this is making influencers turn their profiles to private. He joked that everyone needs to think, what will Joey say if I post this? Joey was quick to change the narrative, saying it should just be should I even record or post this or mind my own business? People shouldn't post stuff simply because they want to be decent. Yeah, exactly. I don't post stuff to just because, what you see is what you get. I'm the same person out inside of this stream where I'm out, as same as outside. So being decent should not really be a thing here. And a bigger thing that I have as well is that, and I understand why women do it, right? I understand why. Is that when men go to the gym, they wear a certain attire. They normally wear very shortly shirts or what have you, or shorts or what have you, because working out and stuff like that. It's normally not to attract another person there, but it's more comfortable. It's for sweating purposes and stuff like that. Personally, I like to work at home, so that's usually the case with me. But with women, they do it for attention. They do it to get attention, likes, or what have you, whether they're streaming or not. And it's almost every single time when it comes down to the gym or what have you, they always have to be wearing something very seductive, something that always makes them get that attention, whether it's unwanted or not. And that's the problem with me. I just can't. It's like, I know there is clothing for females to wear that does not have to look like you're sexualizing yourself constantly all the time every time you go to the gym. And that's just the thing. And yeah, of course, you're going to have some idiots or assholes that are going to look at you. I mean, they're going to a public space, that's just going to happen. But I don't think that's a common occurrence. And again, it would probably do a whole lot wonders if you just dressed normally for a gym outfit, rather than wearing very skin tight clothing that pretty much just shows your ass right there, your butt crack and everything, or practically shows you almost pretty much have a camel toe or whatever, and it's just like, come on, bro, like we know what you're doing, and it's just a nightmare, man. Yeah, we need to talk about how some men are ruining the gym experience for women. And this is, I can't believe this. This is from the same people, by the way. Some men are ruining the gym experience for women. Well, let's see what you guys got to say about this. A certain level of anxiety is normal while attending the gym, especially when starting out. But unfortunately for women, the one space intended to relieve stress and act as a catalyst towards personal health and fitness goals is increasingly becoming a hospital for boys' club culture. Well, you say boys' club culture, but Twitch was mostly a male thing. And then when women entered it, it instantly became, they started the thought thing, right? Like the whole reason why there's thoughts, or the word thought became to play, was because women entered the Twitch sphere, which was mostly for streaming, if people don't know, and they end up sexualizing themselves at the gym, or not at the gym, but on Twitch. And then they made a hot tub thing, literally producing, I would say, sexual content or softcore porn on Twitch. They even have a hot tub thing. So I don't know where there's the boys club culture. It's just where guys go to work out, and women were also, I guess, allowed. But since they're but since then, it became, Twitch became OnlyFans Lite. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree. It became OnlyFans Lite, and it's horrible. I don't even go on Twitch at all. I do watch some Twitch streamers here and there. I think it's just, I play League of Legends. I'm a League of Legends person. It's part of the reason why my brain's slightly warped than usual. But yeah, I watch LS. I watch a few people there, but it's just not okay, man. I honestly, a lot of people that I see that go onto Twitch are just deranged. I haven't seen really a Twitch person that doesn't have some type of a horrible conspiracy that they've done that has been honestly quite illegal. It happens at least 3 or 4 times a year. A certain level of anxiety is normal while attending the gym, especially when starting out, but unfortunately for women, the one space intended to relive stress and act as a catalyst towards personal health and fitness goals is increasingly becoming a hospital for boys' club culture. A jaw-dropping 70% of women have experienced a negative interaction in the gym that has left them feeling uncomfortable at the hands of a man, according to FitRated. Women have been inclined to accept this as a norm and alter their workout routine according to avoid harassment. And here's the thing that I have with the harassment, right? Sexual harassment, or harassment in general, is so broad nowadays, is that you don't know what the actual term is. Some people will even go say is like, oh, if you look at them, oh, that's sexual harassment. Well, no, you're just looking at them and what have you. And that's the reason why I have a huge problem with this whole type of harassment type of deal. where it's just you can't tell what is harassment and what is not, and man, it's the most annoying thing on the planet. And so you'll probably get stuff like this. And not only that, if it's such a big deal and such a problem, why don't you just start your own segregated, gender segregated type of gym? Why don't you just do that? Because at that point, you don't have to worry about the male gaze, and then you can just go into your own gym, that's your own female gym, and just go into that. Well, I think part of the reason why that won't happen is because women like the attention, so they're just going to go into that instead. From being watched, which you guys dress into a way to where you're going to catch the eye of some guy. It's just going to happen. And to think that you're not going to catch the eyes of some guy coming in there is just insanity to me. But okay, but you kind of do it. Unwanted flirtation. Unwanted flirtation. Let me define that for people. Unwanted flirtation is a person that I am not attracted to or want nothing to do with, and I don't want to be flirted with that guy. So that's pretty much what that is. If the right guy is flirting with them, they don't mind. But if it's the wrong guy, it's unwanted and is a huge issue. Mansplaining, of course, yeah, mansplaining. So why is mansplaining happening here in the gym at all? You should be working out in the gym rather than talking. And mansplaining is stupid because I've seen numerous of times where women overtalk me, and I don't see that as an issue, but Being followed, body criticisms, physical contact, and sexual harassment, the concerning catalog of negative experiences have driven women to avoid certain areas of the gym or quit altogether. What's worse, this type of behavior is becoming increasingly normalized with boys will be boys attitude and very few consequences given for the gym themselves. Yeah, and of course, then we have this, which is, women coming into the men's space or what have you, and then accusing them of things that they are not doing. Good on you. It's even prompted women to work out at unsociable hours and opt for oversized gym garments to disguise the shape of their bodies. Well, that's a lie. I know that's a lie. You know how many times that I've gone into the gym, right? A few times, but mostly I've only gone into the gym for my massage, for back massages, because my back is all messed up. And majority of the time when I see women in there, they're in there with booty shorts, very tight clothing, and what have you. I have not seen oversized gym garments to where they're describing the shape of their bodies at all. Like, that's the thing. Like, I see it time and time again. Even the girls that are just sitting at the desk that are, want to sign up or you sign up or sign in or whatever, even the girls in there are in clothing that is very tight around them. Now, I'm not saying that, like, the girl deserves to get raped or the girl deserves to get sexually harassed or what have you, but what I'm saying is that this can't possibly be oversized gym garments because I don't see that every time I walk in there. Like, even when don't go into Walmart, by the way, people. Don't go into Walmart, because the one time I went into Walmart, there was just a girl in her bloody underwear and just walking in Walmart. I mean, like, the hell? Like, it's just insane to me. I don't think these guys live in the actual real world. And I understand that women are mostly attention seeking, and there's nothing wrong with, like, wanting attention, but there's a line to where, like, sometimes that, like, maybe some of the attention that you're getting is because of some of the actions that you're doing. But I digress. Yeah, exactly. How do you know they aren't attracted until you try? Yeah, exactly. Attraction is going to happen when you first look at them, and then you have to approach them. And majority of the time, women just don't approach. They just don't approach men. So therefore, your pretty much stuck with having to do the approaching, and if they don't like it or whatever, they can do it. That's what's going to happen in Scotland. If you approach a woman and you say you want to go on a date or something, or have a coffee or whatever, I'm a bit of a different type of man. I'm a man that will probably do something more physical activity. So, or maybe a little bit less. But let me do like K1 racing, because that's fun. Do things that are fun, not sitting down at a table or whatever and not really doing anything. I think probably having more fun and relaxing and stuff like that is more of a fun thing than sitting down talking to them, because during those periods of times of wait for doing something activity, you can talk to them and what have you during the time when you do that fun. I think that's a way more fun a way of doing things than just simply just going out a date, talking or what have you, and paying them off about money funny. And either way, if the date goes bad, at least you had fun, right? At least you had fun, and it kind of negates some of the bad feelings and or what have you after it. So I think that's just the way I do things. My role model is not for everyone. It's even prompted to women to work out at unsocial hours and opt for oversized gym garments to disguise the shape of their bodies. These unwanted interactions have moderate to extreme knock-on effects on more than 1 in 5 women's long-term fitness goals. The issue, men sexualizing the gym experience, harassment is not a compliment, nor will it ever be. Sexualizing the gym experience. This gets me so bad because this is so contradictory to what women are literally doing in the gym as of today. That's just incredible for me, man. Like, the women are the ones that are doing this. Honestly, they're the ones that, oh my god. And granted, I think this article is from 2021, right? But this was only a couple years before. So, yeah, that's... So, yeah, but this is the problem that we have with this. And then we have more on this with the gym should be a place of empowerment for women, but instead they are oogled, secretly photographed, given solicited advice, followed, and inappropriately touched. Now, just by fellow members, but personal trainers too, enough is enough. Emily has had multiple meetings with some of the biggest fitness chains in the UK, including Pure Gym and the Gym Group, in a push to do more against harassment in the gym space. We want to highlight the issues women are currently facing in our gyms and to push for for changes in policies and gym culture, she said. We have also been in talks with the majority of Mayor of London's office, specifically the Violence of Women and Girls Department, who have been super keen to push change also. Yep. It's oh my god. Nearly 18% of women feel more comfortable working at home, while further 8% would prefer to join a woman-only gym. Yeah, and I like how, which is fine. I think there's gonna be a lot of guys that are gonna be working at home now, working out at home or making their own home gyms and stuff because of the stuff like this. They just don't want to deal with it, and I'm glad that I did because I don't want to go to the gym and be blamed for things that I didn't do. I have no desire to do that, so I will be working out at home where I can only be ridiculed by my own gym set that is laughing at me at the amount of weights that I am able to lift, rather than being put on TikTok for maybe briefly viewing a woman in my vicinity. Yeah, weights are pretty cheap. They're not bad. Female-only spaces play an important role in employment confidence and comfortability for women wanting to learn and train with zero issues. Emily said, though she doesn't believe this is the answer, we personally do not believe this is the answer to eradicating sexual harassment in our gyms, and that this issue needs to be faced head-on in order to create a safer spaces for women. To showcase how real of an issue this is, 4 women shared their horrific gym ordeals. One highlighted the lack of accountability for gyms. A woman had her breast groped while squatting with 100 kg at a branch of the gym group where I used to work. It was caught on CCTV, yet the company took no action. Part of the issue is that the gym is open 24 hours, yet totally unstaffed for most of those hours. While another shared that some of the gym staff aren't innocent either, I see this particular male personal trainer at the gym may approach young women and touch them in appropriate places where he is training them. Men wolf whistling while women are working out, or men stood in groups at the waist or area whispering about myself and other women when shared. I don't know where this is coming from. You can watch so many gym videos and stuff like that where men are not doing any of that. They're just minding their own business, doing their own stuff. I don't know how often this is happening, how often this happens. This cannot be a consistent thing at the gym. Like I said, I don't go to the gym, so if people that do go to the gym, please let me know if this is a constant thing that you see men do to other women. Like I don't see it at all when I go and get my massages. I just don't. Well, another share that some of the gym staff aren't innocent either. They go on to say, while a fourth reviewer I've had my form-corrected outfits commented on, which led me to wearing big t-shirts and leggings, which hasn't stopped the harassment. Followed from machine to machine around the gym floor with smirks and comments muttered at me under their breath. Been asked where I'm from or where I live. All these comments were continued after asserting myself and sometimes even after they're from gym staff. Like, here's the thing with this. Depending on your outfit that you're wearing, like some of the gym girls that I see that wear, yeah, they're probably going to get comments on your outfit because of how how sexual in nature it is. Or if people are asking you to like where they're from or where they live, that's just generating normal basic conversation that has nothing to do with harassment or what have you. That's usually a guy that's coming up to you and maybe he's interested, maybe he finds you attractive or what have you, right? And he just wants to talk to you. Well, how else are you supposed to interact with somebody? Like, hey, what's your number? Or hey, how you going? Like, there's very little other ways that you can interact with somebody to start up a conversation. It's just a conversation starter. It has nothing to do with harassment. That's the thing. I think women only will say this if they're not interested in the guy. But if they are, they don't even complain. We're going on to the next one here. So we have this. This is a very interesting, and I actually get to do this guy with you guys legitimately live this time. And it says, Dr. Fauci went to the hood to pressure black people to get vaccinated. Little did Fauci know his career would be destroyed the first door he knocked on. And this is hilarious. This is another thing that was pointed out to earlier in the stream, that to where these people are... They think like us. They don't really believe it. And yeah, you have some people that got the vaccine or what have you, but this man is not taking it, and I think some of these other people are not as well. So let's take a good look at this. I'm gonna mute myself because if I don't, it's just gonna go through my speakers. It's just gonna be awful. So
people in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not gonna be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
Yeah, and here's another thing too. This man is just completely roasting them, and it's that. Well, what's with the report saying that you have like a 97% survival rate with it, and the only people that are really being affected are old people, and you're trying to force something down people's throats. Like it's insanity to me that they're just trying to keep on pushing this on. Like it's insane. So this man asked Fauci all these good questions, and they try to, at some point, they try to guilt trip him, right? Like, oh, like you're part of the problem, or whatever. It's just insanity. Fauci, I love this because Fauci just gets completely destroyed.
The reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
Basically.
not
It's
like
much
the common
more
flu.
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You going to pass?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, and another thing too, and I even said this before, is that you have to go by the amount of percentage of people that are actually dying, right? And if you have like about, say the amount of deaths are like 1 or 2%, and it happens to be like 30K, and the amount of people, the people in the country is like 350 million, give or take, right? Well then, even if you give it to like 600,000 people dying out of 350 million, even if you go with that statistic, it's still not that many people out of 350 million people. That's really not. And as bad as that sounds, it's not a lot of people. So you have to take it to where, okay, well, yes, 600,000 people are dying. What's the percentage of that, and how much of that percentage of how many people out of that percentage is dying? Well, okay. Well, 350 million, 600K, 400K, 200K. Okay, well, yes, that's a lot of people. We should put this on alert, but I don't see where you force people to do things when it's just like 1, 2%. Now, if it's like 10, 15%, okay, now we got a bigger deal, right? But that wasn't the case here. It was a lot less.
When you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, it's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on.
There's something else.
You're
going
right.
on
But
with
I'm
that.
glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city.
Well,
but I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
And then we have Mr. Fauci over here having to take some pills to get this deal with reality. It's actually hilarious. So, yeah, and I do agree. It's all about fear. We've seen through the Twitter files and stuff like that Fauci was lying about the whole stuff. They were even saying that, like, oh, the Wuhan lab is not a thing. Well, guess what? They're finally now realizing that it is from the Wuhan lab, that it is a big deal. And so, it's just hilarious. The conspiracy theorists, which would be us, I guess you want to call us that, we call this out already, and literally 2-3 years later, it's like, oh, well, this all turned out to be true. Well, yeah, I guess so, right? I guess it is turning out to be true, considering the mere fact that this is constantly ongoing. It's just insanity. Well, we have some more, actually, ironically enough. We have Anacostia resident. I heard the vaccine doesn't cure it and doesn't stop you from getting it. For on the rare chance that you do get it, even when you're vaccinated, you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected. Very good at protecting you. Well, we're going to look at these few clips here, and we're going to see exactly like that. Even the black people are not really agreeing with this stuff either.
What you guys doing with vaccine?
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting for them to be able to.
Oh, you should get it first. Okay, that way you won't give it to them.
Oh, I thought I would give it to them as I get it.
No, not at all. In fact, we got to get you vaccinated so that if you were to get infected, you could pass it on to them. So you're actually protecting your family by getting vaccinated.
Well, I heard that it doesn't cure it, and it doesn't stop you from getting it.
No.
So
On the very, very, very rare chance that you do get it, even if you're vaccinated, you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected. It's very, very good at protecting you.
Just the Anacostia, so get up there. Okay.
All right, see you later.
What I find hilarious is that he's lying to these people, because my own mom has gotten COVID 3 times. She's had 4 shots, and it did not help her at all. In fact, she got COVID so bad to where, like, she was even losing her taste bugs and stuff like that. I think this was the 3rd time, and she had the shots. And you know what's hilarious? I have not once got vaccinated, and I have never once had COVID. So I don't know what this guy is talking about. He's obviously lying to their faces, because this person is even being educated, and they're going out and lying to people and trying to get people sick, trying to get this drug into their veins. It's insanity to me. Yeah, they were also PhD and lower class were likely to be willing to get it. Yeah, and I think it's because it's just insanity. I think these people are. What's worse is that they're lying to people, trying to just hurt them. It's just awful, man. So we're going with, this is the other one that's going on here, where Fauci, red states are going to keep the outbreak smoldering in this country because they won't get vaccinated. It's so crazy they're not doing it because they say they want to. They're Republicans. They don't like being told what to do. We need to break that.
What are we going to do about those other states?
Oh my God. They're going to keep the outbreak smoldering in the country. It's so crazy. I mean, they're not doing it because they say they don't want to do it. They're Republicans. They don't like to be told what to do.
Right.
And we got to break that, unpack that.
How you guys doing with vaccine?
Hello.
Republicans don't like being told what to do. Well, I guess you could say that Republicans are more of a freeing, party, but I wouldn't even just say that. I would go on to even say that rather people even on the Democratic side don't even want to deal with the vaccine either. I don't see where it's just Republican people just talking about this. It's also Democratic people too. I mean, maybe less on the Democratic side, but I also think that it's not just the Republicans; it's also the Democrats that don't want to deal with the that want to get the vaccine. I've had a few friends that just don't get it, and the only ones, even I think even one of my friends, the only reason why they got the vaccine is because they were being forced to by their job, and that was the only way they'll be able to feed themselves or their family. So they were hard pressed to get it. So you were forcing people to get something that they normally wouldn't get, and And here's the thing about this too. The people on our side are at the very least thinking like us. We weren't going out and saying, well, you have to, or if you got the vaccine, you were bad people. But we had people who did get the vaccine saying that people that didn't get the vaccine are bad people. See how that works? So, we know that we're you do you do what you want, what you think is right, just don't push it onto us or what have you, and we're cool. Well, that's exactly what the far left was doing. They were pushing this vaccine onto other people, forcing it, and we're like, no, we're just not going to take it. We just don't trust it. But, of course, Fauci over here saying that Republicans, they don't like being told what to do. Well, yeah, because, again, people just don't like being told what to do in general. So, Fauci, I don't think it's just Republicans, all right? The fact that he wanted to control people, that's the bigger thing here. Now we have this. The House Judiciary demand communication testimony in Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. I think this is going back down to the Donald Trump. I have this a little bit switched here. I don't know why. But this is go back to Trump, which is kind of nice because we have a few new viewers coming in here, so I got to get to hear about the whole thing. So kind of a little bit of recap for some of the new people that are in here. Trump has been announced to be arrested essentially tomorrow. So this is pretty much going over Trump being arrested and saying he should be able to protest and go with the country. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, whether there will be protests or riots or what have you. We'll see. And this is probably the far left's one goal. And the only reason why I don't want protests, and the only reason is because I don't want to give the media and I don't want to give the far left more reason to create another January 6th scenario bullshit, right? Like, I don't want that. We're just now getting over this January 6th BS. Why? Let's not start another one, all right? Let's just not start another one. We don't need another one of that. Because there's probably going to be agents there, as we're seeing in the January 6th thing, and there's probably going to be other nefarious stuff that's going on. Let's just not start that again, all right? Let's just avoid that entirely. I'm not really a huge thing of Trump saying protest, because I think we will have protests, but I just think it will be another January 6th scenario that we just don't need. Because, again, the Democrats are going to run that into the ground for their political gain. And they don't have much left to stand on. Even when you play some of the games, people are even ragging on Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not liked, not in the slightest. What I'll probably do here for you guys, because the way I have my streams normally set up here is a little bit different. So I don't think I can go all the way down, unfortunately. Let me see here. Because, well, the way I have this set up is that you guys don't see everything on one side of my screen. So it says here that, Dear Mr. Bragg, you're reported about to engage in unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority. The indictment of a former president of the United States and current declared candidate for that office. This indictment comes after years of your office for any basis on which to bring charges, ultimately settling on a novel legal theory. My apologies. Legal theory untested anywhere in the country, and one that federal authorities declined to pursue. If these reports are accurate, your actions will erode confidence in the even-handed application of justice and unilaterally interfere in the course of the 2024 presidential election. In light of the serious consequences of your actions, we expect that you will testify about what plainly appears to be a politically motivated prosecutorial decision. The New York County District Attorney's Office has been investigating President Trump since at least 2018, and looking for some legal theory on which to bring charges. The facts surrounding the impending indictment have been known for years. Michael Cohen, President Trump's disgraced former lawyer, pleaded guilty over 4 years to charges based on the same facts at issue in the impending indictment by July 2019. However, federal prosecutors determined that no additional people would be charged alongside Cohen. Now, in the words of one legal scholar, you are attempting to shoehorn the same case with identical facts into a new prosecution, resurrecting a so-called zombie case against President Trump. Even the Washington Post quoted legal experts as calling your actions unusual because prosecutors have repeatedly examined the long-established details but decided not to pursue charges. Goes on to say, as well, the legal theory underlying reported prosecution appears to be tenuous and untested. Bringing charges for falsifying business records is ordinarily a misdemeanor subject to 2 years statute of limitations. If you guys want a bit more insight, this is all about a porn star or something that she had a problem with Trump, so she's now suing him. You can't. She's just trying to get free money. All right, that's what she's just trying to do. She's just trying to get free money, and it's a common tactic that women do today to harm men. It's insanity, and I can't really agree with anything that she's saying because she doesn't really bring any proof for this, which would have expired long ago. State law, however, allows a district attorney to elevate nominal misdemeanor conduct to a felony charge if the intent to defraud includes an intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission thereof. such as showing would extend the statute of limitations to 5 years, which would likely expire soon, and thus explains your rush to indictment. The only potential speculated crime would be a violation of campaign finance law, according to one scholar, a charge that the Justice Department has already declined to bring. In addition to the novel and untested legal theory, your star witness for this prosecution has a serious credibility problem, a problem that you have reportedly recognized. This case relies heavily on the testimony of Michael Cohen, a convicted perjurer with a domestic prejudice against President Trump. Cohen pleaded guilty to lying to Congress in 2018. In 2019, when he testified before Democrats on the House Oversight Committee to aid their fruitless investigation into President Trump, Cohen lied again, 6 times. Cohen has been vocal about his deeply personal animus toward President Trump. Under these circumstances, there is no scenario in which Cohen could fairly be considered an unbiased and incredible witness. I would agree as well. I don't think that if you have any ties towards somebody, I think it's... I could be wrong, and I'm not a lawyer. I think you can't actually, if you are anywhere near close to the witness at all, I don't think you can actually do law for them at all. I don't think you can do that. I would have to ask Nick Rekieta Law for this, because that might be close to home. But I don't think you can actually do anything to indict them or what have you, because I think it causes problems within the case, and you can easily get a mistrial. Last time I checked, but again, I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer, so don't take from legal advice. The inference from the totality of these facts is that your pending indictment is motivated by political calculations. In January 2022, soon after you took office, you expressed doubts about President Trump's case and suspended the investigation. This decision caused 2 of your top investigators, Carrie Dune and Mark Pomerant, I think that's what his name is, to resign in protest and publicly denounce your work. Pomerant, in particular, heavily criticized you for declining to bring charges at that time, and Dune and others are now weighing ways to bar President Trump from holding future office. Pomerant has published a book in the past month. Now, what I'm most likely seeing here as well is that Tim Pool has gone out and said that, it's civil war, what have you, or whatnot, and there might be some justification to this, because it's usually down to this as well, to where we have House GOP targets Mayor Andy Hay as possible Trump indictment looms. So, yeah, and Tim brought up a point to where, like, if Trump is living in a resident of Florida, and they tried to arrest Trump in New York, and Florida says no, well, you could have a possible civil war. I don't know if that would be the case at all, but I do know that this isn't really going to work for the Democrats. I think this is going to be a backfire, because if you arrest President Trump without, legitimate evidence and stuff like that, you're going to have a massive problem. And I think this is going to cause a bigger problem for the Democrats than the actual benefit. Because you're just going to make people like, well, now we have to vote now because you're going after people, obviously, politically. And it doesn't look good. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan and senior GOP leaders are preparing to demand testimony from members of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office and made reports of an imminent indictment of former President Donald Trump. Now, I granted this is from Politico, so we got to trust these guys with a grain of salt. All right, we understand that they're not the greatest here. All right, but we will get a little bit from them, so that we kind of get an idea. I'll probably just read down to this line here, because it will make some sense. The official who spoke on condition of an anonymity because the plans are not final noted that Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a longtime Trump ally and close friend, is fully supportive and pushing folks to be aggressive here. Bragg himself is in the GOP's crosshairs, though it's not clear if he'll be immediately summoned. He should come testify before Congress. Rep. Major Taylor Greene told us and other reporters launching into a lengthy tirade about fake charges meant to be used in Democratic ads against Trump. Greene's not alone. This is a George Soros-backed, crazy left-wing prosecutor, and he's doing this purely political sham, Jim told Politico. Note that Bragg has told his employees over the weekend that he would not tolerate attempts to intimidate our office or threaten the rule of law in New York. Jordan didn't answer questions about whether he subpoenaed Bragg, even if he does. It's almost impossible to imagine Bragg or his subordinates answering questions about an ongoing probe or prosecution. While Republicans could threaten to hold him in contempt of Congress, the Justice Department would be unlikely to press charges in partisan dispute. Regardless, Trump's future will continue to be a major discussion point as House Republicans huddle on the biggest policy issues facing the country as GOP lawmakers prep for sessions on border security and the ongoing banking scare, public safety, and amid the looming debt ceiling deadline. Yeah, so I agree. I think there's some things here that should be addressed. I think what they're doing is probably a good idea in some sense, and also bad in others. I think the good is that anybody that is being shown or seeing trying to punish somebody criminally due to political reasons should probably lose their license, in my personal opinion, and maybe jailed, because we're not supposed to do law under political attacks at all. We shouldn't be doing that. They should be under the point to where it should be based only in law and law alone. If it's political, as I honestly think this is, then it should not necessarily go to trial, and it should be given to somebody else that would not be doing it politically or what have you, and that person should be jailed. Because I at this point in time, if it's going to be political and you're outright stating it's going to be Donald Trump, then it's a problem, right? Because we've seen Biden commit all kinds of questionable crimes throughout the time where he has documents and stuff like that. Granted, Trump did so too as well, but he had way more classified documents hidden under him and stuff like that. And that's a problem to me. And I think that that both should be punished at some instances. And we have this weird thing with Biden's doing with kids, and there's no talk about it, like stiffing their hair and stuff like that. It's just uncomfortable, man. So I think there should be some different rules in place here to really tackle it. Now we have some other issues, my friends. It seems that UBS is buying Credit Suisse bid to halt banking crisis. Yeah, another bank is collapsing, I guess. Not going good. This looks like this is in the UK though, so I don't think it affects us too much. But yeah, it seems like Switzerland's biggest bank, UBS, has agreed to buy its ailing rival Credit Suisse in an emergency rescue deal aimed at stemming financial market panic unleashed by the failure of two American banks earlier this month. And what's worse about this too is that we're only 3 months in, right? We're only 3 months into 2023, and we're already seeing major banks crashing. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 months or so to the banks? Biden wants to say that, like, oh, we're fine, everything's good. I don't think everything is good, Biden. I think everything is going down the gutter, and we need to start facing some serious ramifications that's probably going to hit this country. Well, I think we're having worldwide inflation, but it's not good. And this is all due to the far left trying to take hold of this. Again, this is from CNN, so we got to take these guys with a grain of salt. USB is paying 3 billion Swiss francs for which is 3.225 billion for Credit Suisse, about 60% less. My apologies. Than the bank was worth when markets closed on Friday. Credit Suisse shareholders will be largely wiped out, receiving the equivalent of just 0.76 Swiss francs in UBS shares for stock that was worth 1.686 Swiss francs on Friday. Owners of 17 billion worth of additional Tier 1 bonds, a riskier class of bank debt, will lose everything, Swiss regulators said. So yeah, this is not going good. I mean, this only happened in the UK, but we had two banks go down, and yeah, I think it's gonna get worse. I think we're just getting hit by the shutdowns that we did for COVID, and due to that, since we're just now reeling that, I don't think we haven't gotten hit by the $1.2 trillion spending bill, which is done by the Democrats, has yet to hit us. I think that's going to hit us late this year, if not sometime early next year, 2024. So there's still a lot of other things that's going to be hitting us, and it's probably going to hit us badly. All right, we have First Republic shares dropped nearly 50% as doubts persist about $30 billion rescue plan. So yeah, the First Republic Bank, it's down 11.24%. Well, 32% to be exact, is cratering down. Not as bad as the what's their name? As FaZe, they were last time I checked, they were only worth 40 cents a share. So they are not doing great. But yeah, it's not doing great. So far this month, First Republic stock has tanked more than 80%. Its share price is considered a bellwether for other regional lenders who may fall victim to the same focus which failed. I apologize. Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank of New York earlier this month. Yeah, that's two banks in just 1 month. Other regional banks do not appear to be affected by First Republic's struggles in trading on Wall Street on Monday. PacWest Bancorp stock urged more than 11%, while U.S. Bancorp stock was up nearly 5%. The Swiss National Bank on Sunday announced an emergency deal whereby USB, Switzerland's largest bank, agreed to buy rival Credit Suisse. The Swiss Central Bank said the deal would secure financial stability and protect Swiss economy in the wake of global concerns over the banking system, triggered by the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. In order to prevent a full-blown meltdown on Monday, Swiss officials agreed to expedite the USB takeover, offering $100 billion with liquidity, the linked line to Credit Suisse as part of the deal. USB and Credit Suisse are among the top 30 top banks in the world and about $1.6 trillion in assets together, with their company headquarters both based in Zurich. Before the acquisition, Credit Suisse had teetered on the verge of collapse this week after bank officials warned of material weakness in its financial reporting over the last 2 years. All right. So, let's sum all this up. So, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank has fallen, one in New York, and then one in California. So, well, these are the first two banks to go out. Then we have the Swiss Bank going down. Then we had a few other of these, some Bitcoin stuff going down as well. And then it's just, it keeps on happening. And I think it's about once a week, which I guess we would start targeting today, so this counts as once a week. There's something going on with the banks that is negative, not positive. And I think we're going to keep on seeing this. It's a problem. So I hope you guys are all prepared for the inevitable. We knew this was going to happen, though. We all knew this was going to happen. At least a year ago, if not 2 years ago, that this was going to happen, that we're going to be hitting a recession, if not a really bad recession. So... yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be good. And, of course, the dictators, as they will, they have to change the wording of what a word meant to better fit their narrative, of course. Because, why wouldn't they do that? And then, finally, we have this last doozy here. So, we're going to go, let's see, I might actually be able to put this up here. 80%. There we go. So... finally, just in 2018, we had The Bankers Lied, which is being, from Balaji here, reporting to James Medlock. James Medlock says, I'll bet anyone $1 million that the U.S. does not enter hyperinflation. All right. Anyone want to take that bet? Because I could easily use a $1 million. That'd be very nice. I will take that bet. You buy one BTC, I will send $1 million USD. This is 40 point odds our BTC is worth 26K. The term is in 90 days. All we need is a mutually agreed custodian who will still be there to settle this in the event of digital devaluation. If someone knows how to do this with a smart contract, we can do it on chain, so I can send USDC. If you don't do that, name a custodian. If you won't do that, name a custodian. Apologies. Just as in 2008, the bankers lied. This time, the central bankers, the banks, and the bank regulators have lied to all dollar holders and depositors. This isn't your typical fractional reserve situation. The problem is that there isn't enough in the banks on a mark-to-market basis to cover withdrawals. They knew this through all of last year and communicated it internally in their coded language. It's always from the graph seen below, or see below. The central banks, the banks, and the banking regulators all knew a huge crash was coming. The phrase is unrealized losses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but they never notify you, the depositor. Instead, the regulators allow banks to hide their literal insolvency and footnotes until one guy figured it out. They all used deposits to buy the ultimate shitcoin, long-dated U.S. treasuries, and they all got wrecked at the same time. In the same way, because they bought the same asset from the same vendor who devalued it at the same time, the Fed. Specifically, as New York Times admitted, banks binged on enormous amounts of treasuries and other long-term bonds in 2021. When the flood of printed money cut off their typical demand for loans, and because they thought the Fed would keep interest rates low forever, and they had good reason to believe this. Powell said he'd be patient on rate hikes as late as November 3rd, 2021. Then he got renominated on November 22, 2021, and hiked rates much faster than anyone had expected, which even Yellen and the FDIC admit caused the current banking crisis. Why did Powell delay? Probably for political reasons. Presidents don't like rate hikes, especially running into the election year of 2022, and Powell thought he could wait and just be like Paul Volcker, and who was firm and didn't defeat inflation. But the world isn't an 80s rerun. Hiking from 10 years of near zero interest rates in the 2010s was a surprise attack on every dollar holder. Economics isn't politics. The kind of insane flip-flops you see in politics don't work when there are actual contracts involved. So anyone who bet on a long-term treasuries got killed in 2021. And now, anyone who bets on short-term treasuries is going to get killed in 2023. The absolute worst place you can be is to have large amounts of assets locked up in 3 months treasury bills. The 5% interest rate offered by big banks, FIBs, is a trap. Most flat bank accounts are now a trap. For those countries whose central bankers follow the Fed, check my references. I have provided quite a few. If you trust U.S. bankers and U.S. media, ignore me. Otherwise, buy Bitcoin and get your coins off exchanges. I don't know if Bitcoin's really the play here. I think they're going to tax the heck out of Bitcoin eventually. But here we are. These are just things to consider. He has a lot of points that he's been making here. FDIC are worried about growing unrealized losses in U.S. banks' bond portfolios. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corp is becoming concerned about mounting unrealized losses in U.S. banks' bond portfolios and the possibility that those losses will have to be realized. According to the regulators, acting chairman, right now our banks have strong liquidity, so they shouldn't have to dispose of those assets. Martin Gruenberg said in the November 30th Senate Banking Committee hearing, but as the market evolves and banks may have to dispose of those assets, there are substantial unrealized losses that could impact our institutions. Gruenberg, who has been nominated for the permanent chair position, labeled the increase in unrealized losses as a very substantial overhang for banks that could soon become problematic. As the Federal Reserve has rapidly raised interest rates over the last year, the value of many bonds that banks own have dropped. That has led to significant unrealized losses in banks available for sale securities portfolios, which have been taking a chunk out of accumulated other comprehensive income, or AOCI, and driven down tangible book values. The U.S. banking industry recorded that total AOCI losses of $423.58 billion during the first 6 months of the year, according to an August analysis by S&P Global Market and Intelligence. A more recent analysis found that the 15 largest U.S. banks' AOCI losses tumbled again in the third quarter, falling 33.8 billion, 80 billion, my apologies, substantially. Gruenberg said banks' unrealized losses grew even larger in the third quarter. And then we have this graph here. that shows that it took a great big dive in 2022. A great big dive, or started to dive down in 2022. And then unrealized gains and losses in investment securities all the way down, starting in 2022. It is bad. And then again, more for losses. So we're seeing here that this is just a downfall of it. Here are the remaining references as Twitter that here has a limit on the number of links in the one post. I am moving 2 million into USD for the bet. I will do it with Medlock and one other person sufficient to prove to the point. See my next tweet. So yeah. Granted, I think this guy might be trying to do something with the whole Bitcoin and stuff like that, and all this stuff. But there's all things to consider. It's all just not good, and the banks are crumbling. And I think we have to start thinking about it, and start thinking about it in all reality. So yeah. That is all crazy news. Granted, there's a bit more news today, but I can't, unfortunately, get all of it today. I was actually supposed to start earlier, but something randomly came up, so I couldn't actually do any of this stuff earlier. So I will be back to my normal schedule this week. I won't be missing 4 days, as I usually do. Streaming will, this is a random recurrent stream. Normally I will let everybody know. If you guys want to know more about what I'm planning on pretty much doing in terms of streaming, I did say I'll have it done within 2 months or so, I think in January. I unfortunately will not have it done this month. But you will probably see me doing more random streams or test streams such as this. If you guys see any issues at all that's within the stream or that you occurred, please let me know, because I would have no problem fixing that. So yeah, this is all test streams until I get like my guest stream going on. Most likely next month, I'll try to get that going on, and that will be more of those streams won't be political. Those streams will be mostly relaxing, chilling, talking about some stuff, bullshitting here and there, having fun, because I think at the end of the day we need to have fun, and with all the BS that's going on. Without that, it's just too crazy. So that'll be one stream, and then I'll be making another stream at some other point to where it will be more like this, reporting and stuff like that. So we'll be fitting stuff like that, and the streams will be lasting about this long, hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take. They probably won't be lasting that much longer than that. Usually people tend to fade off a little bit, what have you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll keep you guys definitely posted. Thank you for showing up, for everyone that did. Thanks, user, for commenting and all that stuff, writing down, talking. This was actually a lot of fun. I will